Hello, welcome back to the Freedom Blueprint. I'm Adrienne Green, and right now it's mid-December, the time of year when a lot of people are making predictions, talking about what the market might do next year, starting to show charts and guess maybe what interest rate trends are going to be. But here's the thing, predictions aren't plans, and as much as I love data and analytics, the truth is what we've seen in the past isn't necessarily what we're going to see in the future. I've learned that. And plans that we make are what actually create progress for us and our real estate investing. So today, instead of giving you vague forecasts, I want to do something much more practical. I'm going to walk you through my actual investing plan for 2026, what I'm doing, what I'm not doing, and the lessons inside these decisions so that you can build your own plan for the new year with a lot more clarity. This isn't an episode about hype or guessing the future. It's about strategy, focus, and choosing the moves that make sense for your life, your goals, and your season. I love doing episodes like this because it forces me to clarify for myself what actually matters next year, what is noise that I need to ignore, and what really deserves my time and energy. Whether you're buying your first property or you already have a portfolio, December is honestly the best time to zoom out and choose your direction for the next year. Because here's what really happens in real estate. There are so many strategies, and at any given time, 3 to 4 of them are being hyped somewhere. Flipping is hot, then it's BRRRR, then it's short-term rentals, then it's land, and then it's multifamily. And it's really easy to start thinking, maybe I should be doing all of these things at once, or I'm failing because I only have one strategy. But the truth is, when you try to do everything, you end up doing nothing well. So in this episode, I'm going to share my plan for 2026. I'm going to pull out the principles behind each decision because the goal isn't for you to copy my plan. The goal is to help you build yours with intention. All right, let's get into it. So my first move out of the 3 I'm going to share is to keep all of my current rentals. This part of my plan is actually kind of quiet. I'm keeping all my current rental properties in 2026. There's no selling, no major repositioning, no big shuffling around. I'm just going to keep them. Now, why? Why am I going to do that? There's a few reasons. One, we've got great loans on them. In a world where interest rates are bouncing around and higher than they are when I bought a lot of these properties, having strong, low-rate fixed mortgages is a major asset. These loans make the properties cash flow pretty well, and they're producing predictable returns. 2, they're appreciating steadily. Nothing in our portfolio is underperforming. Nothing has a giant repair looming. Nothing's causing headaches. Anyone who's been a landlord knows that no headaches alone is a reason to celebrate and something that we want to hold on to and keep getting that advantage from. And another big factor is that I have or I can get HELOCs on these properties. You know, they do have this equity sitting there because they've appreciated, because I've paid down this loan. And yet I can leverage that equity without selling the house. I can withdraw that capital via a HELOC and reinvest it where it'll go faster. Spoiler alert, that's a big part of strategy number 2 that I'm going to share in just a minute. So these rentals that I have, they're giving me stability. They are giving me a bank of equity that I can draw from, and they're really no work, and I don't have any upcoming big expenses expected on them. So I'm going to keep them and just keep letting them appreciate, give me a little bit of cash flow from that rent, and just let it ride for another year. Now, the lesson for you in this is you want to protect your base. Before you chase new opportunities, you want to protect the foundation of what's already working. A lot of people start January thinking they need to jump into a brand new strategy, but most of the ROI move isn't going to be something new. It's optimizing or maintaining what's already in place. So some questions you might ask yourself as you plan your own 2026 is, are your current properties performing? Are they cash flowing the way they want? Do they have any expensive surprises you think might come up next year? Are any of them draining your time or energy? And is there a way to fix that? And is now a good time to refinance or maybe add a HELOC onto one of your properties? Your keep or sell decision can be the thing that either strengthens your 2026 or distracts from it. All right, let's move on to strategy number 2. In 2026, my husband and I are planning to 5x our private money lending business. That's the biggest move we're making in 2026. It's going to grow that private money lending business significantly. This is our focus. This is our one thing for our investing, and it's where the majority of our energy and strategy will go. And By the way, if you're listening and you want either a passive investing opportunity or you're already in the private lending space or you're doing flips and deals and need a reliable lender, go ahead and reach out or visit us at investaway.co because I'd love to see if maybe we can make a win-win there between us. Now, why is private money lending my big main thing for 2026? There are three reasons. First, it balances my portfolio with cash flow. I already have these wonderful, buy and hold rentals that are appreciating beautifully. The appreciation is slow and it's not really making a difference in my life today, live my life and buy the things I need. So private lending adds this monthly income or cash flow without tying up a lot of my time in terms of like a flip or something like that, which leads into the reason number two, private money lending is my focus. Second, it fits my lifestyle. I love this full-time travel lifestyle that I have with my family. I love that we can live in different places in different countries. And private lending is a strategy that isn't tied to being in a specific city and walking certain properties and managing those renovations and doing the work ourselves. It's portable, it's scalable, it's low friction, so it's a good fit for us. And three, there's a lot of opportunity in today's market that I'm able to leverage in private money lending. Deals still need funding. Flips, burr investors, small builders, they need this capital, and banks are strict right now. Plus, there's a lot of people who are looking for great ways to grow their money, and we're able to give them an opportunity to joint venture with us and get that growth as well without having to make all those connections or do all the work or know how to underwrite the deals themselves. So private lending is really filling this gap, this need in the market for both borrowers and for investors.
Hiring a virtual assistant shouldn't be a guessing game. If you're ready to offload time-consuming tasks and scale your real estate investing business, my Real Estate VA Launchpad course gives you the exact roadmap to find, train, and manage high-performing VAs. Learn how to delegate like a pro and take back your time. Enroll now at adriennegreen.com/courses, and you'll find that link in the show notes below.
So how does this apply to you? You might be like, private money lending is not my thing, and yet there's lessons here for you. And this is what I would say the principle is from this part of the plan. You want to pick one primary growth strategy for 2020, not five, not even two. All right. You don't want to have everything looks good, so I'm going to dabble or run from one to the other. And so the reason I'm not aggressively buying a bunch of new rentals next year is because I know that if I try to scale private lending and I try to grow my rental portfolio significantly in the same year, I'm not going to do either one of those well. Something I want you to remember is your focus is your force multiplier. When you can have a very specific one goal in mind, you're able to really reach that goal in a much more significant way than when you're divided by multiple. So the questions you want to ask yourself is, what's your one main investing strategy in 2026? What's the thing that moves you closest to your goals? And what aligns with your capacity, your time, and the lifestyle that you'd like to have? What is sustainable given your current season of life? If you can answer these questions clearly, you're already ahead of 90% of investors starting the new year. So that brings us to move number 3 for my investing plan for 2026. And that's that I'm going to maybe buy one property in Q4. I'm not aggressively expanding my investment property portfolio next year. I'm not chasing deals. I'm not going to buy just because it's 2026 and I have this arbitrary goal of a certain number of doors per year. And I'm not going to try and juggle two major growth strategies at the same time. What I might do is I might buy one property near the end of the year only for a specific reason of tax strategy. If I have high taxable income in 2026 and I could benefit from buying an investment property to take advantage of the depreciation, I would consider buying either a short-term rental in a place I'd love to spend some time, like maybe Sedona or Flagstaff, or a long-term rental in markets that I already know well, like Chattanooga or Myrtle Beach. But this is a conditional play and not a core strategy. Now, why does this make sense for me to have as I lay out 2026? Well, we already have steady appreciation happening in my existing property and portfolio of homes. I don't need to force growth in this area of my portfolio and in that appreciation. And again, remember that one of my key principles here is that I can't do multiple things and do them all well and massively expand my rental portfolio in the same year. I'm not going to be like an all-star at either of that. I would have to sacrifice either quality, focus, or sanity if I tried to do that. So what I'm doing is saying that not every good opportunity is a right now opportunity. And that's what I throw out for you as well. When you are fighting or combating that shiny object syndrome and all those things that people are saying, this is the next hot thing, sometimes the smartest thing you can do is intentionally delay a strategy until you have more bandwidth, you have more capital, you have the right team, or you have the right season of life. One of the most underrated skills in real estate is strategic restraint. The ability to say no or wait. That is so underrated and something we do not do well. So think about where you could maybe do that in 2026. So if we zoom out, my 2026 investing plan is simple. 1, protect the base. Keep the rentals. They're stable, they're performing, and they give me leverage and appreciation. 2, choose the main growth lever. For me, private lending is my focus. My one thing, my goal where I'm going to 5x it next year. And 3, keep conditional plays in that maybe bucket so that you can evolve as the year goes on if needed. So a Q4 property purchase for me only makes sense from a tax perspective. And this is a framework overall that you can copy word for your own planning. 1, base. What's your base that you're going to protect? 2, your focus on your main growth lever for the year. And 3, your maybe bucket that are intriguing you, but they're not really worth focusing on right now. And if you want to actually use this yourself to plan 2026, here's your homework. Take out a piece of paper and write 3 lines. My base for 2026 is, my number 1 growth strategy is, my conditional opportunities are. If you fill that out, you'll have more clarity than most investors, and you'll have it all year long. And again, if private money lending is something you're curious about, whether on the passive investing side or on the needing funds for your deals side, feel free to reach out or visit investaway.co. I love working with people who value reliability, fairness, and creating win-wins. And if that's a match for you, let's talk. All right, friends, that's my plan for 2026. It's simple, it's clear, and it reflects what I want next year to feel like and where I want to be for my goals. Remember, as always, if this episode was helpful for you, please share it with someone else who could use it as well. And what I'd love for you to do, if you've made it this far, I'd love to hear what's your growth goal in 2026. Go ahead and drop it as a comment beneath this episode. Thanks, and join me again next week for another episode of the Freedom Blueprint.